He's Blake. I'm Ronnie. All the good names are taken podcast. And today we're talking a horror movie that doesn't get enough talk on this platform. We're talking John Carpenter's 1978 classic, Blake, Halloween.
Okay. I'm excited.
Yeah. So, I mean, it goes without saying, one of the greatest horror movies ever made. Up until a point, it was the highest grossing independent horror movie at the box office. It's got great characters, great music, great kills. It's just the perfect horror movie, Blake.
It's your typical, masked silent killer, uh, you know, chasing a girl throughout the whole movie, and what's going to be the culmination? How's it going to end?
There's a lot of what if in this movie. Like the character in a white mask, Michael Myers, is stalking these kids throughout the day of Halloween. At the end, at Halloween night is when he starts to harass and actually kill them. But up until that point, it's just a bunch of first person stalking, Blake, that is really, really creepy.
Yeah, the creepiness level of this movie is off the charts because you don't know why he's doing this. He follows them all day. He spends a whole day following them, and you're like, well, what's this building to? What's going to happen? And then when we get to nighttime, that's when the chaos begins.
I mean, everybody likes to talk about Dr. Loomis in this movie, and he's the one that has, he chooses the scenery like Jack Nicholson. He gets to say everything, Blake. He gets to tell Sheriff Brackett, who's also the father of one of the characters, Annie, because originally this movie was called The Babysitter Murders.
Oh, okay.
And then they changed it at the last minute to Halloween. Do you think this movie would still be thought of 47 years later if they hadn't changed the movie and it just been called The Babysitter Murders?
That's a good question. I think that's a topic on its own. But yeah, I think it would have still been successful as long as they left everything else the same with the music and everything. And plus, you wouldn't be handcuffed to the whole Halloween thing, Ronnie. It could be any day, any month, and you could stalk a different babysitter every movie.
Yeah, it wouldn't have to be on Halloween. It could just be him breaking out and going after babysitters. It's a lot better. But Donald Pleasance, Dr. Loomis, he gets to have all the big dialogue scenes where he's telling the story of Michael Myers and how he's been with him for 15 years, and over the 15 years he's seen him grow to pure evil, just staring at a wall and thinking about what he was going to do when he broke out. Because the movie starts off with a girl getting stabbed to death, and then we're first person following this the killer out the front door. And he's unmasked to be revealed as a 6-year-old killer, which is her brother, Michael Myers. And 15 years later, he breaks out and goes back to the Myers house. And it just so happens the main character of the movie, Jamie Lee Curtis, who's Laurie Strode in this movie, her father is a realtor, and she has to drop the keys off at the old Myers house because they're trying to sell it. And he sees her and chooses to stalk her the rest of the day. And she sees him everywhere. She sees him outside of her school watching her. She sees him driving by when they're trying to walk home. She sees him standing by the hedge bushes. She sees him staring up into her room. And then finally, us as the audience, we get to see him in the car following them to go to their babysitting. But he's just stalking her all day, and it's really creepy.
Yeah. I said it earlier. The creepiness is off the charts with this movie. I think I said that earlier. But the mask, everything, the build up, the tension, this movie, it really does a good job of keeping you on the edge of your seat. And one thing that you need to talk about, Ronnie, is the score, because it's almost like the score has a build to it as well. We get a kind of a creepy, ominous Halloween tone throughout the beginning, but once it gets into that final act, that score really cranks up. Don't you agree?
Yeah, I mean, you got the John Carpenter theme that is just iconic, and everybody knows that. You got the shaped stalks, and I think the score of this movie, without a doubt, is maybe the second scariest character of the movie, because without that music, I'm not sure it will be as creepy as it is. This is still one of those movies where if I cut the lights out and watch it, I'm going to get freaked out. It's going to creep me out because that score is just horrifying in what it does. And it's a major character in this movie as well.
That's a good
Everybody,
point because it's like imagining the movie Jaws without the Jaws theme. You
yeah.
know, it's just not the same. And if you have Michael Myers sitting up or walking down the stairs to no music, it's not nearly as scary.
And it's like everybody loves Dr. Loomis. And like I said before, he gets to have all the dialogue, but he also makes a lot of mistakes, Blake. He tells Sheriff Brackett, who immediately wants to notify the newspapers, the radio, the television, he tells them, don't notify them. Because if you do that, they're going to see him behind every bush, every street corner. It's going to create panic and chaos. And then he spends the rest of the movie sort of just hanging out at the Myers house instead of out there looking for Michael. Meanwhile, Michael's wreaking havoc on Haddonfield. So, you know, he made so many mistakes. It's just hard to take him seriously.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of Dr. Loomis. I know that's a hot take for this franchise, but I just feel like he, you know, to know Michael as well as he does, he just makes too many mistakes. Not only in this film, but throughout the whole franchise. But one thing I do love about this movie, Ronnie, are the kills. I think all the kills are well executed, and it doesn't have all that gore that seems to be a necessity nowadays. What do you think about the kills?
For a movie that doesn't have a lot of blood, I thought the kills were very well done. I mean, you've got the Judith kill at the beginning. You've got the mechanic kill. I mean, how do you kill him, Blake?
Heart attack.
You've got the throat slit for Annie. You've got Bob getting stabbed into the wall. You got Linda being strangled. And then, you know, he sets his sights on Lori, and, you know, Lori takes it to him with the knitting needle in the neck and stabs him in the chest. And then at the end, Dr. Loomis comes in and shoots him 6 times, and he falls over the balcony. And what does she say? Is it the boogeyman? I mean, what does she say?
I think was that the boogeyman?
And he says, matter of fact, it was. And he goes and looks over the rail, and Michael Myers is gone. And it's just the best what if ending of all time, because you realize that's not a normal guy. It's just a great ending.
Yeah, the ending, you got to wonder, Ronnie, if they don't use this ending, does Halloween have the same impact on culture as it did? Because him disappearing just shows you that Loomis was right about him. And it also does a really good job of letting us know that he's breathing. We can hear him. He's still alive. And is showing us everywhere he could be. It's showing us scenes throughout the movie where he was before. Is he in the living room? Is he coming back up the stairs? One of the best endings to a horror movie of all time.
Yeah. That's 1978's Halloween, Blake. Great movie. If you haven't seen it, go out and check it out. And anything else to add?
No, just looking forward to the next one. It's a really, really good movie.
Everybody make sure you like and subscribe if you haven't, and we'll see you next time.